Protect your wealth. Sharon Horrell from here, Supersize Your Business Annual Challenge Day 79. And our topic is the not so sexy, but very important one of insurance. Do we have the coverages for our business to protect us so that we can take calculated financial risks to grow and build and supersize our business, to protect us in case of forces outside of us impacting our business and our ability to run it, both personally and the business physically itself. So we're going to run down a list of different types of insurance to make sure that you have. We're going to share in the comments below your favorite type of insurance or your favorite insurance coverage that makes you feel the most confident as you're moving forward in building and growing and scaling and supersizing your business. Because if we don't feel confident, if we don't feel like we're protected, we will make overly conservative, guarded choices in our decisions moving our business forward or not, in the things that we will look into and take advantage of that can help us grow even faster. So, building your business, building your life without the proper insurance is actually like building a house with no foundation, or building your house on quicksand, because you're building something, but there's nothing to ensure that it's going to be protected and that it's going to stand on its own 2 feet. So we always want to have certain types of insurance, and depending on your business, depending on your industry, your needs are going to be slightly different. This is one of those areas where I hesitate to do it, but I'm going to say you want to find an insurance broker or an expert that can help you find the right business coverage for you and for your business. I hate doing that, especially in this day and age of the internet, because I did it for Medicare, and I didn't understand certain things about it. And instead of going to an expert and asking for help, I thought, well, I can just Google this and do it myself. Lo and behold, literally thousands of messages and people trying to get me to go through them and use them for Medicare and Medicaid, when all I had to do was actually read the book, get on the phone and ask a couple of questions, and it was all sorted out. The amount of risk we're willing to take and the amount of protection we need depends on what we're building and what we're doing and where we are and what stage of our life. When I was younger and had kids and a family and was building my family, I needed more coverage personally and professionally to make sure that if something were to happen to me, they would still be okay. And lo and behold, the one time something did happen to me, I had a sudden cardiac arrest and checked out for a while. I did not have that insurance coverage. It cost me over $350,000 and took me like 11 years to actually pay off. Why? Because I didn't want to pay it off all at once. I wanted to pay it off over time, so that I could be building my future back up and building my legacy and my businesses up, because I want to create businesses that my kids want to inherit, right? And fortunately for me, I had systems and things in place when that event happened, because I was actually out of commission for closer to a year after that, then 6 months. But ask yourself today, what would happen if I or some key person in our organization were to have an accident, or were, heaven forbid, to die? Because we don't take those things into account. We all think we're going to live forever, but we all know the older we get, the less we know, or the less likely we are to believe we're going to live forever. We know that our time here is limited, and that there's a flip of a switch in our mind, or at least in mine. At one point, I don't even remember what age I was when it happened, but from, oh, I'm invincible, nothing bad's going to ever happen to me, to, I better really pay attention to, is this a good decision or a bad decision for me, right? And that happened early for certain things like my physical health and well-being, and a little later for others. And I think that's probably pretty true of most people. So what kind of insurance do we want to actually, we're going to audit today and review what kind of insurance we have for our business. And again, we're going to share in the comments below, what is the number one insurance that you have right now that gives you the most peace of mind? Because we make better and different decisions if we're feeling secure and protected financially than if we feel like we are exposed in some area or aspect of our life. There's so many stories about insurance going good or bad for people, but we need to have it in the areas and the key areas of our life. My delivery vehicle in the Italian food manufacturing business got totaled, and we needed to get a new vehicle. If we didn't have the proper insurance, we would have had to wait. And how would we have, been doing our deliveries and things during that time period, being a vehicle short? So there's all kinds of things. And I shared some fun stories in Supersize You annual challenge about windshields breaking and other things that we just don't necessarily take into account, but we need to for our long-term health and well-being. How many of us had a pandemic coverage years ago? None of us. Nobody did for our businesses. Guess what? It's a whole new industry for the insurance industry. Okay, so let's review our business insurance today and our coverages today. Remember the structure of your organization. If you're an LLC or an S Corp or whatever type structure you've set up, that protects you personally from the goings on, let's call it, of the corporation, which we definitely want that, especially if we've got more than one person helping us in the organization, because we are responsible for everything the people that we partner up with do, as well as any employees or even any subcontractors or contractors that we use in our businesses. So, number one, general liability. Everybody with a business needs a general liability policy, in my humble opinion. Does your profession require professional liability insurance? Think real estate agents, certain types of contractors, all different people and all different industries require specific industry related insurance. Make sure you got those, because otherwise they're required for a reason. Obviously in the past, other people have had challenges with that, and so that's why they're required now. Property insurance. Business property needs to be insured because it has the same things happen to it that our personal property does. Cyber liability is a big new one, right? When I first started businesses, there was no cyber. There was no cyber anything. Now there's a whole lot of cyber and a whole lot of different ways that we can be defrauded and taken advantage of. Key person insurance. Do you have insurance policies on key personnel in your organization that if something were to happen to them, kidnapping insurance is a real thing in the global community. People that are high value targets get kidnapped and the companies have to pay out millions of dollars to get them back. And my favorite, I'm going to share my favorite type of insurance right now. Oh, workman's comp. Don't forget workman's comp insurance if you have any folks that work for you. That includes contractors, not just employees. So keep that in mind as well. So make sure that you've got the coverages you need. Why? Look at what is the cost of having the insurance versus what is not the cost of having the insurance. And almost everything is a 6-figure plus risk with respect to not having insurance for your business, even if you're a teeny tiny business. If you want to lose your house, your everything, because you didn't have an insurance policy that cost you a few $100 or a few $100 usually. I also did share the story of the importance of having trip insurance. If you have people in your organization that travel, one of the best things you can do is have trip insurance. I think AMX still provides it automatically for any airlines and things that are booked through them. I could be wrong about that, but they used to. So do that and have that. And I like to share the story of I don't even know what the math would be on it, but my son was mountain climbing on Mount Everest and got high mountain altitude sickness and had to be flown off the mountain via helicopter because there was no other way off. The winds were really bad and they couldn't get, and he had to wait a day or two to get a helicopter up there to get him off and take him down to the hospital in Kathmandu. But we had gotten trip insurance for that trip. And I think that's probably the first time I had ever bought trip insurance, but it really taught me a lesson in the importance of having it, because that was like a $35,000 plane ride. That didn't include the time in the hospital, but all of it was covered because he spent $79 on a trip insurance policy. And that was a huge aha epiphany for me about the importance of having the right type of insurance for any area or aspect of your life or your business. All right, so what are you going to do today? Share in the comments below. What insurance gives you the most security? I didn't even share mine yet. Mine is the umbrella policy. I think I've had an umbrella policy for a couple of decades now, probably 25, maybe longer years. I actually started having them when I worked in corporate America and was running businesses on the side because I wanted to be protected if anything that I couldn't imagine would have happened. So that's it. That's all I've got today. I've got no voice. I guess my voice is going. If I can help you anyway, hit me up and ask. I am on spring break, but I'm glad to help if I can. And I usually can. I might not know the answer, but I guarantee I know somebody that can help you or has the answer you need. All right. Have a great day. And I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye. check your insurance, protect your wealth.